Hello, and welcome to One Storyteller, where we are continuing through Fellowship of the Ring. My name is Reagan.
I'm Andrew.
Excellent. And we are in Chapter 15, or arguably Chapter 3.
Book 2, Chapter 3.
In Fellowship. It's The Ring Goes South is the one we're on.
There you go.
Yes. Titles are helpful.
Very.
I like books with titles for the chapters. I don't love it when chapters are just numbers.
That's very fair.
Okay. I wanted that to be a hot take, but I guess we agree on that. That's all right. There's plenty in this chapter that we will
Spoilers.
disagree about.
I can't believe. Well, I only have a small inkling of what will happen, but I have a feeling there's going to be a lot, which is sad because there shouldn't be a lot here.
No, this is just not a particularly good chapter.
Man, I disagree.
Well, you can disagree if you want to. See, that's the point of this, is we get to talk about it.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we're going to be here for an hour probably.
Probably. Not, like, barely anything happens in this chapter. Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
just don't agree.
Oh, okay. What happens in this chapter?
We want to do a whole summary here.
Sure.
So we got the crew going south,
Yes.
reflected in the title itself.
Yes. His titles are aptly named.
Yes, that's true. I think there's a couple main threads we're seeing. This might be one of the points of disagreement, is you don't like how this is done. But this chapter is actually like introducing us to all the Fellowship.
Mhm.
Technically, Council of Elrond was the introduction to Boromir. Like, we get a
Yes.
lot of information about him. But we see Legolas and Gimli are introduced here, and we're seeing everyone is being developed in little bits that are foreshadowing where they're going to be, at least by the end of this book.
Very interesting.
So I find that very interesting myself.
Okay.
We're also seeing Gandalf unmasked, as it were. Like, he's... Like the hobbits especially, they're seeing Gandalf work at full power, which is really important setup for the Bridge of Khazad-dûm.
You will have to explain all of this as we go
Okay,
through.
you just didn't see that at all.
No. All
Okay.
Gandalf does is give them drugs at one point.
No, man, he chases the wolves off. Or is that the next chapter?
Oh,
That's the next chapter.
that's the next chapter.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm jumping ahead a little.
But also, that's kind of dumb. But yeah,
What?
we'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay.
I don't like the next chapter either.
Yeah, see, this...
So what I
I guess what I'll say is, here's one thing we do see that's interesting.
yes. Oh.
And we'll unpack this more because I think it's one of the most important things in the chapter.
Okay.
First part of the book,
Yes.
book 1 of book 1,
Yes.
is the hobbits are trying to get to Rivendell, and they keep making mistakes and have to be helped out of them.
Yes.
Aragorn and Gandalf kind of have this we were both right sort of situation
Mm-hmm.
in regard to the mountain pass of Caradhras or going through Moria.
Yeah.
And I guess that sort of bleeds over into the next chapter a little bit too.
Mm-hmm.
But Ring Goes South, we find that Aragorn's path doesn't work.
Yes.
And maybe on the surface it looks as dumb and silly as like Frodo or Pippin's mistake. But they're disagreeing in like a more mature, thoughtful way.
Okay.
And they're able to recover from their own mistake. Like, no one comes to help them. Like, whether they find out this is a mistake, but they're able to pivot and correct it. I think that's a striking contrast compared to the hobbits by themselves. And you'd expect to find it, but it's interesting to me it isn't some effortless success that they find. Like, they still have to work for it. I think that's cool.
Yeah, okay, that is a good point with how it would contrast with the hobbits earlier, just outright failures. I would still argue this is an outright failure. Like, the last sentence in this chapter is the mountain defeated them. It's just they lost.
Well, sure.
And so the whole point of this chapter is from a broad level view, it is we've finally gotten the fellowship together to go on this quest, and the first thing that they do is utterly fail and can't progress anymore. And it's like, okay, that is a way to tell a story, but I would like at least a little bit of success from my heroes before they turn into something really bad and incompetent.
Well, and I think you're just using much too strong language there, because they're utterly defeated for one option, and we see their maturity in how they respond to that defeat. And I think that is a little bit more interesting than could have otherwise be said if they just win the mountain.
It is very interesting, but I don't think it speaks very well of them.
Yeah, I disagree very strongly.
Okay, well, now you have our stances, and you can track how right I am as we go through, and I convince Andrew that I'm definitely onto something here.
You're a smart dude. You've convinced me of a lot of things, but I don't think you're going to change my mind here.
Ooh.
But we'll see.
Hey, I have about 45 minutes to do it. So, or longer if we go long, which is baller.
Hopefully not too much longer than that.
So basically, at the very end of the last chapter, which was Council of Elrond, Frodo volunteered to take the ring. Which huge for him. Yeah. Great for Frodo. Love that. And Sam volunteered to go with Frodo because he was in the council the whole time. Whether you think that's good or not, we can differ on that. And
we can agree it's good for
whatever.
Sam.
Sam is cool. I like Sam.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what all else is going on there. But the entire point of the first half of this chapter is like getting together. It's the preparation montage where they're putting the team together and getting equipped. And then the second half of this chapter is a travel section where they go up on a mountain and ultimately come back down off the mountain and have to reroute and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's basically what happens as you go through. So we start with the hobbits meeting each other. Chapter opens with Merry and Pippin talking with Frodo and Sam, and both Merry and Pippin are kind of mad that they don't get to go.
Yeah,
I think, but Pippin thinks it's a reward to be able to go on the adventure,
and Merry has a bit more circumspect perspective.
Yes,
he's like, no, when Frodo's like, Pippin, why are you sad you don't have to go to Mordor?
Yeah, this is not a fun thing.
And Merry says, we're not sad that you have to go to Mordor, but we do envy Sam that he gets to go help you, since they care about Merry and Pippin care about Frodo.
Yeah, Pippin wants to have a fun time. Merry wants to be of use.
Yeah, well, I even think Pippin wants to be useful too.
Probably.
He just
in his own way.
He's not as close to the ceiling as Merry is. Yeah. And you can see his immaturity in some of their comments he makes, like what were you talking about that whole council?
Which
is sort
kind of fair. I mean, it went on a little longer, and to be fair, we aren't privy to the majority of the council. It seems like, because Frodo leaves and Bilbo leaves, and the rest of them just kind of continue talking.
Is that right?
For a while, I think so.
I don't think that's right.
Or is that? No. Okay. Did they shut down the council and
it's shut down after Frodo volunteers?
Okay, so Pippin was just talking about the bit where Frodo and Bilbo were gone, and not anything that. Okay, yeah,
I think
you're
that's right.
You're right. Yeah. So, yes, so you have that section, little character moments. You see, just different people are different, and that seems to be consistent with who they are, which is nice. You do get this really weird mention where Bilbo's like, okay. We were talking, and everybody's surprised, even Gandalf's surprised by Legolas saying that Gollum disappeared. And Gandalf says, no, you are inattentive. I already knew about it. I was the only one who wasn't surprised. And Bilbo's just like, well, okay. And then he just kind of moves on. And it's this really awkward interaction. Depending on exactly how you read Gandalf, I'm not really sure if that was an honest thing from him or not.
Yeah. Okay.
I think he's just kind of trying to cover for himself.
Yeah, I don't think Tolkien intended that at all. Like, that's almost impossibility to me. Like, we can, like, Gandalf sometimes rubs me the wrong way with my sensibilities. But Tolkien is not writing Gandalf to be a liar. Not to any degree or stretch.
Yeah, well, could you argue that this was him downplaying the truth?
I don't think so either. No.
I think I might. I think I would, because uh, when when you read the previous chapter, that does not sound like he actually knew that Gollum was gone, and it doesn't make sense that he would have heard about it from. He says he heard about it from Gwaihir.
Yeah.
Right.
That does make sense. That's part of the the Wizard News Network that's plugged in with the we know Radagast is plugged in with some of the stuff around Mirkwood, and the Eagles certainly are.
Yes. Yes, and so it would make sense that Gwaihir knew,
Mm-hmm.
but that's never communicated to Gandalf that he talks about. I don't think.
Right. I meant to go back and check. I was just looking a little bit while you were talking, while I was still listening. I don't think we see that explicitly mentioned.
Yeah.
Which I think must be part of the reason Tolkien mentions it here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that could be true.
It is little awkward, perhaps I could grant you. But
Okay. Oh, no, he does say it's
he
on
does?
page 293 in
Okay.
the official version. The Radagast went back to Mirkwood and told a bunch of people, and the Eagles had heard of it, had heard of the escape of Gollum, and they sent a messenger to bring those tidings to me.
Okay.
And so that was, I guess,
So it was
Gwaihir.
earlier than I was looking.
He was coming to tell Gandalf that. Okay, I guess that would make sense.
Mhm.
Fine. Okay, I'll give him a pass.
Yeah, well, you ought to.
then this is very awkward of just a dialogue, because I don't know what Bilbo's saying.
Well,
Bilbo's implying
there's
that,
nothing deep here.
Yeah.
It's just surface. Is Bilbo's Gandalf, like we talked about in the previous chapter, he's talking a lot.
Yeah.
And even if it wasn't just, or even if it was just Gandalf, I think we could forgive a 128-year-old lapsing in his attention for a second.
Yeah.
And it isn't just Gandalf talking this whole time. So Bilbo's like, I thought you were surprised by that. Gandalf says, no, I said Gwaihir was coming to tell me about Smeagol.
Yeah. But if you're going to write an interaction, it's an odd interaction to write.
I mean,
To have one of your characters to have one of your trustworthy characters, Bilbo, imply that one of your other trustworthy characters, Gandalf, is a liar, for Gandalf to say, no, I'm not, and
No,
for
no,
Bilbo to just move on.
this is a small bit. You're reverse engineering that. Bilbo's not implying Gandalf is a liar.
Or he's just implying that Gandalf he missed something.
Yeah, that's a really important distinction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And I think that's it starts this Gandalf is competent line that we're following. Like, we already know that, but we're seeing like lots of little things like that. Like Gandalf is right about the mountain. He really pops off during the wolf fight in the next chapter.
yeah, he was also incredibly wrong about Saruman.
No.
But I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know that there's
none of this is meant to say Gandalf is like a perfect character, but maybe it is. Everything with Gandalf, you have to read this in. It's building to his conclusion in the book,
Yeah.
which is fighting the Balrog in just 2 chapters from now.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, like, if someone was reading this book for the first time and say, "Whoa, I thought Gandalf was this great, powerful guy," but for the purposes of the story, and maybe it's a little contrived, I think it's still fine. For the purposes of the story, the big, powerful mentor had to be out of the first half of the story almost entirely.
Yeah.
And so maybe this isn't the right way to say it, but maybe it's a little bit of a repair job.
Okay.
And it's not like Tolkien is like creating things to make him look more competent, but he's including relevant details that describe his competence.
Okay.
This doesn't matter too much one way or another.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably under that same umbrella.
Interesting. I don't see Gandalf as a particularly competent figure in this next couple of chapters.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think he is displayed as very competent. That may be what Tolkien's trying to do, but that did not.
We'll talk about that.
That does
some
not
more.
appear.
Yeah.
Not to me.
I don't think this matters too much. I
Okay.
think the later stuff we'll disagree with does matter some more.
Fair enough. But there are roots here of it's just weird. It's just weird.
It is a little awkward. I can grant that.
Very odd.
I don't
Very
think it's
odd.
very odd.
And so something, the riders are gone.
Yes, this is something. Here's another issue.
This is incredibly
Elrond.
stupid. Oh my
No,
goodness.
it's not. Elrond
Oh.
and the Rangers, they spend 2 months
Yes.
gathering tidings all along the river
Yes.
before they send out their valuable ring bearer on this super dangerous quest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, with the specific mention that the ring wraiths are unhorsed and unmasked, and so they are going to be less dangerous. But we have to spend multiple months confirming that, at which point you have entered the winter season, which is the hardest season to travel in, especially over mountains.
Yes.
And so you set yourself up for failure, is what this is, right? They're going into the heavy snow season, and then they're expecting their people to just walk over the mountain. That is a foolish idea. You watched 9 of them get swept away. There should be enough hope there. There were multiple horses dead in the ford, right? There were multiple horses confirmed dead on the spot, and then there were
I don't think
there
on
were
the spot.
there were 2 that were in that area,
they
and then
had
there
to
wait.
wait.
5 that were washed down later.
They only find out the horses are dead during this reconnaissance. But that's neither here nor there, because the ring wraiths are a lot more durable than the horses.
Yes. Yeah, 3 of the black horses had been found at once drowned in the flooded ford, and on the rocks or the rapids below there were 5 more.
Yeah. And so that tidbit about finding the dead horses and cloak bits
Yes.
is like it's part of the reconnaissance, but it's not the main part of it. Like they have the Rangers, the Elves of Mirkwood, the Eagles, all the Council of the Wise allies, it rhymes, are trying to listen. Has anyone seen these ring wraiths anywhere?
Yeah.
Because now they know what to look for and what to listen to, since they were just out and about.
Yes.
They want to make sure they're not around, or that other allies aren't around.
Yes.
Well, allies of the enemy. Yeah.
The problem with that is they are a threat when they are horsed and masked. Especially
Sure.
so. You know at least 8 of them are unhorsed immediately.
No, that they don't know that immediately.
It's right right in the falls on the other side. It's the very next page. Elrond says 3 of the black horses have been found at once drowned in the flooded ford.
So the next page after the beginning chapter.
Yeah, on the rocks of the rapids below. It's below it. Searchers discovered the bodies of 5 more and also a long black cloak. And so it seems like they have all vanished from the north. That's all in the immediate area. I don't think he's talking about spending a month going down a winding river to ultimately find horses. It seems to be that's right there.
Yeah, that might be right. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to find this here.
So it's just like it's the paragraph. In no region had the messengers discovered any signs or tidings of the riders or other servants of the enemy, etc., etc. It's right before Elrond summons the hobbits. It's like 3 paragraphs before. So it's very odd, right? We already know that they're on a time crunch because the longer they wait, the longer Sauron grows in power. We already know that the longer they wait, the ring wraiths are also growing in power because Sauron is getting stronger.
Sure.
You already know, at least 3 of them are down horses, and so at most you're fighting 6 riders, and Gandalf was able to fight a bunch of them by himself. And so it just doesn't make sense to me that you would delay your trip by another 2 months to get into the worst time of year possible before you actually go, because you have confirmed that several of the enemies are down for the moment. Why not just go? I feel like this fits in with the Frodo didn't want to leave Bag End, and so he waited until the last possible moment and then left Bag End. It's the same kind of thing. They're waiting for confirmation of something they really don't need confirmation of.
Yeah, I think I don't see that exactly with the ring wraith situation.
Yeah. We do see it later in the chapter. Several times.
With
They camp out on the mountain, and instead of making the decision to come off the mountain, even though the storms are continually getting worse, they decide to wait on the mountain overnight so that they can make a decision the next
There
day.
might be some similarities on the surface, but I think that is...
We also see it when they're camped in the valley, I think in the next chapter, and instead of getting away from the wolves, they make camp because Frodo wants to spend the night there before making a decision, which is what allows the wolves to attack them.
Yeah,
Over and over in these chapters.
I'll be frank, that feels like a simplification of events to me.
Well,
with this one here, it isn't. I don't see that with the ring wraiths. I see where you're coming from with that though, but also it isn't just the ring wraiths. They want to make sure Sauron and Saruman don't have other servants out and about.
Mm-hmm.
So they're sending scouts without the ring to check the ways they're going to go. And just because of the geography they're dealing with, that's not something they can do like a snap of the fingers.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand the time it would take to do that.
Yeah.
It's just, the most powerful servants are gone for the moment. You know that they need to go back home, get refitted, and then they'll be back.
Sure.
So why are you giving them more time to do that?
Yeah.
That just does not make sense.
But it's in the chapter itself is they don't know that for sure. So they're double
but they do.
but it says they don't, man.
It says they don't, but they do.
I don't think so. So that's one thing they want to confirm, and they also want to confirm where are some other of these enemies. We want to make sure the routes we want to try are open to us.
Yeah.
And it does put them, it isn't and to be fair, and thinking about what you're saying, the winter point is an important point.
Mm-hmm.
Winter is hard to travel during.
Yeah.
But they're weighing the cost. I think that's something that maybe could be overanalyzed. I think it is worth noting that all these people who have proven their competence in the story are all unanimous here. That's probably worth something that reflects Tolkien's purpose for this part of the chapter.
Yes.
This isn't an incompetent thing. It's just it's one of these double-edged swords here. Is we have to confirm this. That means waiting till a harder season.
Yeah. That does not make sense to the logical part of my brain. And so you can tell a story this way. It just does not. That's not how I would do it, and that's not how. I don't think that's how a lot of people would end up doing it.
Yeah, maybe not.
Okay, if they want to do that, then that's fine. I guess they're thinking it's better to have the enemy that you do know than the enemies that you don't. But especially with the last chapter and them emphasizing over and over again, if we don't act now, we're not going to get it done. And then there's an immediate delay of 2 months. It just seems dissonant.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
That's something I should have said this earlier. That's something I've thought about before reading through this. But Tolkien's 3 wise people we know are Aragorn, Gandalf, and Elrond.
Yeah.
We all need to know what we're doing before we do this. And I don't think
that brings up another problem, but yeah.
My goodness. It will be a longer episode here. But I don't want to be redundant or repetitive, but I don't think I've said this yet. I don't think the point is this scouting is in contrast to acting immediately.
Okay.
This is how you act immediately.
Okay.
Frodo has also made some mistakes. We've seen this pattern as well, jumping on the table, or rushing into the old forest, or jumping on the table in Bree to sing a song instead of taking a minute.
Okay.
And thinking more carefully. Or he rushes into the old forest. Turns out that's okay because the Deus Ex Machina help from Bombadil.
Yes.
But if it hadn't, there'd be a tree apocalypse or something.
Yes.
So we've seen delay is bad. But so rushing into things is bad too.
Yeah, granted.
And if they didn't send out scouts, they have some powerful people with them. But Sauron has some powerful servants.
Yeah.
So they decide, okay, we need to confirm which ways are safe.
Yeah. Okay. That could be fair. When I read this, that's not how it came across.
No, and I will grant that, and I probably should have granted that earlier. I can understand.
Yeah.
It does seem like it fits more into the delay pattern.
Yeah.
But I think
all of the problems
that
they do run into later in the chapters are caused because they delayed, or at least intensified because they delayed.
And that is true.
Yeah.
But
that if they had gone ahead and gone, they may well have run into different problems.
And
then
that would
we
be
have
exactly my point.
That same complaint.
That would be exactly my point.
They
run into problems because
compromise.
of this delay.
Yes.
But I think we're meant to read, at least in Tolkien's world, and I think it is realistic, and I think it's realistic too. But I think we're meant to say, okay, things probably would have been worse if they'd gone right away.
I don't agree, but I can see how someone would come to that conclusion. Fair enough. Also, Radagast is not at home.
Yeah.
To raise your point last time about Saruman being at home and settling down was bad. Radagast also settled down, but then he's also not at home. He's out doing something. And so maybe
which either means
there's a little spark of good.
He got or he's doing something good.
He probably got. I don't think we see him again.
No, never. He's
ripped that guy.
It's the only time he shows up in any writings, really.
Yeah.
But
he's got rabbits.
It's only in a Gandalf flashback.
Okay, so we've made it approximately 3 pages. That's good. So the writers are gone for the moment. That is confirmed.
Yep. Now it's
whether
confirmed.
or not, everything else that is confirmed. And so the Elrond comes up with this idea that they're going to have 9 walkers to go fight the 9 riders.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. That's fine. It's a little arbitrary, but
sure,
that's fine.
But it fits the legendary tone.
Yes.
And
9
people here.
He summons the hobbits to him, which would be all 4 of them, I believe.
Yeah. Or 5, I guess.
With Bilbo there as well. He summons the main 4 who will go on the quest, and Bilbo as well. And then he says, all right, we got to have 9 people. I've come up with your squad. Here are 7 people. It's Frodo, Sam, Gandalf, Legolas, Gimli, Aragorn, and Boromir.
Yeah.
And then who could the other 2 people possibly be? I guess I'll get some elves to go with you. And Pippin says, I want to go. And ultimately, Merry and Pippin are drafted onto the squad. You've had 2 months to think about this. And the best thing Elrond can come up with is, I've got most of a team together. And so it's just weird. Like, why would you not have everybody? And why would you be inviting Merry and Pippin to join in with this so that they know all the details of who's going on the adventure? His point is to send Merry and Pippin back to the Shire as messengers. But if they get captured on the way, then they can just rat out the whole ring bearer team to Sauron, and that's not going to go well.
Sure.
It just seems like a plot contrivance.
Several things here.
Yes.
Well, and it is a story.
Yes.
First thing.
It is.
So the pacing of it is meant to allow us to breathe and appreciate what's being said here.
Yes.
Does it seem a little silly on the face of things to say?
Yes.
Of
Yes,
course
it
you
does.
agree. He hasn't fleshed out the roster at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this isn't the most useful exercise to do, but you've already begun doing it a little bit, so I'll chip in.
No, go ahead.
And no shade at you either, my friend. But maybe he could have said,
Friends is questionable after this.
yeah, I hate this guy.
Yeah.
What?
Amen.
But maybe he could have said, and also Glorfindel and Aristor are going to go with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then they say, no, what about us? And then they're put in.
Yeah.
But you're right. And narratively, it's certain these hobbits are going to be on the quest.
Yeah.
And so Tolkien says, this is just a quick way to do that. Here's 2 things to push back against. Elrond is a dummy or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you had several different thoughts supporting this.
It's a web. Yeah.
As to heading back to the Shire,
mm-hmm.
they've just spent 2 months scouting around everywhere.
Yeah.
They know it's safe.
Okay. Yeah. Well, they know it's safe however much of the way back they actually made it and went there. And it was safe for the moment.
Well, and they have sure.
Yeah. So, understandable. It would be a safer road back to the Shire than it will be continuing on.
And,
yes. Yeah. Understand.
And, sorry, I brought this up in the wrong order. But in regard to, if they're captured, they'll be able to tell everyone what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's worth thinking about. Like, it does help if you know like everyone who's in the group.
Yeah.
But this isn't like a super secret quest in like
True.
Rivendell's context. Like, everyone knows these people are heading out.
True. Well, everyone knows there's going to be a quest.
Well, and the thing is, like, Elrond, like Frodo or Bilbo's gonna tell them what's happening, and Elrond must know these two hobbits already know about the ring as well,
Mhm.
which is sort of exceptional
Yeah.
compared to everyone else in Rivendell. I don't think that your common orchard farmer, I don't know, we don't usually see a lot about the industry in Rivendell.
Yeah.
But your average elf dude there doesn't know about the ring.
Mm-hmm.
But these two hobbits do. So they're already tied up in this a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where, like, if you have something that's important, you limit where the information goes.
Sure.
Which is, I mean, they couldn't keep Sam out of the council. So this is back to that. Like, I don't know. That doesn't seem like the most trustworthy band of people if they are letting a random guy just sneak into their council. I know Sam was good. He's not, like, evil or anything, but... still...
I'll hop back to that
Mhm.
Sam issue for just
Yeah.
a second. I don't think the problem is... I don't think this shows this council is imperceptive.
Mhm.
Like, remember what we're reading about in, like, the prologue at the beginning?
Yeah.
Like, hobbits are incredibly stealthy
Oh, yeah?
when they want to be.
Yeah.
So I think maybe it shows some more toward, like, Sam's competence there than the council's incompetence. Though it can't be like an all or nothing situation.
Yeah.
I would say it's more Sam than...
Yeah. It is more about Sam than it is about the
Yeah.
others. I just
Well, I
don't
think-
really
I
like
think
what
even-
it might imply about the others.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I can understand. I would understand it a lot easier if Elrond calls all of them together, because he's already said, Frodo,
Yeah.
I can't make you do this, but I do think it's the right decision for you to choose to.
Right.
I can understand him calling them all together and saying, hey, these 7 are confirmed.
Mhm.
I have 2 open spots. Merry and Pippin, I don't exactly like. I don't think you're the most powerful and the best fit for this. But you can go if you want to. Like, that's up to you. And then that lets Merry and Pippin actually choose whether they want to or not.
Sure.
As it is, it's just kind of, I don't know.
No.
It's just weird.
Yeah. I don't
it's
think
just
it's
weird.
worth like hyper focusing on it too much. But I do see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I do.
When you have to excuse every one of my complaints as, let's not hyper focus on that.
Well,
It's just weird. I don't think it speaks particularly well of them. Anyway, do you have any?
Elrond?
Yes.
Yeah. I see.
Do you have any thoughts on the
Well, I
Fellowship
think-
gathering as a whole?
I think the narrative thing that is worth talking about with this
Yeah.
is like Elrond is reluctant, especially of Pippin,
Yes.
and we've seen
Understandable.
throughout the story that, okay, that's kind of fair.
Yeah.
But Gandalf says, I think you should let him go.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
It ages very poorly because in the next chapter, Gandalf is like threatening to knock Pippin's head in and throw him in a well. But
Yeah.
I think Gandalf also comes around on that later. So it's
Yeah,
nice
I
to
think
see
it's-
that.
We're going to see
There's some amount
in the
of
next
faith.
2 chapters, like, Pippin isn't making a good showing of himself
No.
initially. It's even worse than what we saw in the first part of the book.
Yes.
So seeing how Pippin grows is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And what is cool is watching how all these hobbits, like, they're not as powerful as an elf lord.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no one's going to argue that.
Yeah.
But all of them are going to do uniquely hobbity heroic things
Mm-hmm.
later in the story.
Yeah.
And I think it's even neat what Gandalf says. You should trust rather to their friendship than to great, what's he say? Than to great valor.
Than to great wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys may be dumb, but through the power of Naruto friendship, we will succeed.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, Naruto is just Lord of the Rings again.
Oh my goodness.
I think that's a good comparison.
So I think that's striking, and that
Yes.
really shows us, like, pay attention to
That's
Pippin especially.
hobbits are useful.
Mhm.
And there are more hobbits than there are any other race, almost put together.
On the
on
group
the
of
Fellowship,
9.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're all going to be significant, even though they all seem like they should not be. Boromir here is kind of an afterthought, which I thought was interesting.
Well, and I think that is worth talking about a little bit more.
Yes.
Is if you use that right, about half the Fellowship is an afterthought.
How do you mean?
That's not the right term, but none of them said we'll go to Mordor.
Okay.
Aragorn and Boromir say we're not going to go to Mordor.
No.
We're going to go most of the way there. Like, even by the point they make at the end of the book is like huge. That's like most of the geographic distance. It's because, Gondor and Mordor are right next to each other.
Okay.
And Aragorn and Boromir, that's where they're going.
Yeah.
They said, we'll go with you a long way, but our end is going to be Gondor.
Yeah.
Aragorn feels very strongly that he needs to go to his city.
Yes.
Boromir says, I'm going to go there, but I might as well go with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to be valorous. He'd be safer and faster if he didn't go with them. So that's to his credit.
Yeah.
Gimli and Legolas also came a long ways away.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to go over the mountains anyway.
Yeah.
And so they say, we'll go back with you guys.
Okay.
So it is, but that's all they committed to was we'll go at least beyond the mountains.
Okay.
Yeah. So everyone except Gandalf and the hobbits are saying, we'll go with you part of the way.
Yeah. That's weird.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah. That's not very fellowshippy. Fellowshipping. It's just, I will help you out as long as it's on my way.
Technically, it's fellowship of most of the way to Mordor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's weird.
But that's just something that isn't spelled out in the movies or something like that. But I don't think it's bad necessarily.
No, it's just different.
But it is an important difference here. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, because I already read that and was like, oh, they're not planning for this to be like a big fellowship all the way.
No.
Like, they're not on this quest for the ring. They're on this quest for their own things.
Yeah.
They've all got their own lives, which is fine. It's just not really what I was expecting.
Sure. Yeah.
The reason I say Boromir is specifically an afterthought is the other people represent the free peoples.
Sure.
You have Legolas for the elves, Gimli for the dwarves, Aragorn for the men. Oh, and also Boromir is there. And Elrond doesn't even talk about Boromir. It's Aragorn who has to say, oh, yeah, by the way, Boromir is also there. And so Boromir is definitely an outsider to this group, right? And that's just going to be driven home more and more as the book goes on.
I think, in practice, he's not more of an afterthought. But you're right.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like along with everybody else, but the way that it's written is his name is
says Aragorn
separated.
For men and also Boromir.
Yeah.
And
it's a dialogue exchange and like a couple paragraphs, and then Boromir's name is actually brought up. So it's just drawing a distinction between those two, which is going to end up being relevant. Merry and Pippin being sent to warn the Shire is a cool idea.
Yes.
And their whole bit was Elrond wanted to warn the Shire because war is coming to the Shire, and the Shire needs to get ready for it. And if Merry and Pippin had actually gone back, then maybe the Shire wouldn't get taken over by Saruman later. Maybe. I mean,
maybe.
Arguably, he would still come in, and they would still be enslaved, but at least there would have been an attempt at that.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
I think that idea, more than anything else you brought up, shows that's Elrond's elvenness coming out in your framing of things. We've seen elves who don't really understand mortals very much.
Yeah.
By Elrond's own admission, he doesn't know very much about hobbits.
Mm-hmm.
These hobbits, they come from important and rich families.
Yeah.
But I doubt right now either of them are really in a place to start something. Pippin certainly not. I think even Merry not so much.
And no one would listen to them even if
That's
they
what
tried.
I'm saying, yeah. But they're going to come back a little later than would have been ideal.
Yeah.
And then there can be the kind of people who can straight up fix the problem.
Yeah, well, it's the question of like, what's the point of a prophet, right? If a prophet goes to a people and speaks to them and they don't listen, there was still value in the people having heard the message, even if
that's
they
true.
resist
That's
it.
true.
And so I think Merry and Pippin just have a choice of whether they go back and warn their
Yeah.
people or they press on themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They choose to press on, which is not a bad decision. And in many ways, that's the proper decision for them to make. They don't go back home and just go sit around, but there are consequences to that. And it's just like,
and that's true.
they can't solve everything.
Yeah.
Right. And so that is interesting to me that Elrond did have a plan for them. They rejected that plan. And in many ways it's good, but it also there are consequences. And
every choice has some consequences. Yeah, that's worth thinking about.
not necessarily good or bad, just consequences. Then there's an equipment montage.
Yes. Okay, this is cool, right?
Okay.
You don't like anything in this
there's some
chapter.
cool there's some cool stuff, yes.
So
Interesting character
noticed
moments.
One of the cool things we've seen in the last couple of chapters is this we can't go home yet
Yes.
idea. There's work to do, can't
Yes.
go home yet. And you see this, even though it's not like a straight to Mordor fellowship, like everyone who's on the fellowship is committing to some degree or another, we can't go home yet.
Yeah.
Even Legolas and Gimli are taking a detour route.
Yeah.
And they're only committing to the mountains, but we'll see later, everyone is willing to go beyond that.
Yeah.
But even at this point is we'll take a longer road home because this is important.
Yeah.
And there's some characters who are really taking that up a couple notches. Like we already talked about the wizards. Gandalf's like the only one who isn't making Middle Earth his home.
Yeah.
He's staying busy. And other characters we talked most about have been Frodo and Aragorn.
Mm-hmm.
And they get new swords like within a couple paragraphs of each other.
They do.
Yeah. That's cool.
I guess.
Yeah, getting a sword like this is like that's a mark of their identities in some way and their missions. Yeah.
Yeah. They are both anointed people who are now bearing signs of it.
Because like even this War of the Ring quest in a way is Frodo's mission is very important. But Aragorn is willing, or Aragorn says, I'm going to go to Minas Tirith and fight because that's almost as important.
Yeah.
We're going to see with the non-Frodo side of things, if people had lost these battles, the ring would have been destroyed, but maybe they still would have lost in the end if there hadn't been heroic people like Aragorn standing up against evil and the more
Sauron is the
way.
big evil, but there are also smaller evils. And if you let the smaller evils overrun the good, then you still don't win.
Yeah. And Sauron has a lot of armies that you have to fight with armies too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. So you get a brief little paragraph that's like, Aragorn got his sword fixed.
Yes.
I find that a little disappointing. I mean,
really?
It's from the very beginning of his character, he introduced himself as a guy with a broken sword. And that's like, oh, why is that? And then he reveals in the Council of Elrond, it's because he's actually the king and the sword's going to get reforged. And then even in the whole, like, Boromir's going to come, well, first I got to reforge the sword. Like, this is the mark of his identity. And then there's this brief paragraph, and then it just kind of...
Yeah.
And then he goes and looks at maps for a while. And there's nothing else you can really do, because that's... I mean, what else do you have to say about a sword?
Here's what I'll say is you would have liked it a lot less if it was more than a paragraph.
Yes. Yeah, it's just, got hyped up, and
that's
then
all
it's
you
like,
have to say.
it's there.
And it shows like doom and destiny is upon Aragorn now. Like this is the hour of great prophecies and valiant deeds.
Yeah. Does it ever bring up, like later on in the books, does it ever bring up stuff his sword does, or is it all just like Aragorn killed some bad guys?
Well, he isn't. It isn't a magic sword.
Yeah. I know, but it's a symbol, and it's supposed to be something important. I don't know.
So you're asking if
is
it
that-
has like agency beyond him?
No, is it like, does it come up as like symbolism for anything later? Does he use the sword to inspire people? Like, this is the flame of the West that's been, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's good. Like, that's the purpose of it.
A couple paragraphs later, we see one of my only complaints in this chapter.
Ooh.
Bilbo,
I got you covered. Don't
Bilbo
worry.
is a vandal.
A vandal. Oh, yeah. a little bit.
I find this like these magic swords must be crazy, because so Bilbo says you should take your sword, Frodo, and he just stabs Sting like up to the hilt, I think, in this wooden beam in Elrond's house.
Yep.
I'm like, what? Bilbo's a vandal.
Yeah. At 128, with like little effort.
Yeah, well, it shows
Just
like
puts his word in there.
that.
It's sharp.
These are crazy swords.
Yeah.
Like maybe we should call them magic swords.
I mean, yeah, they are empowered because they have like the elf stuff on them. It's not that they are independent individuals, but it is they are special comparatively, which is really weird that they would then bury Orcrist with Thorin, which I think is in the next chapter. But like, if you got a magic sword, you should keep that thing.
Man,
anyway,
too practical for your own.
Anyway, yeah.
You gotta bury I would with keep a sword.
I'm not gonna bury my parent with a sword. I'm gonna take it. Granted, I own all the swords in my house, but not my fault.
No.
I need to get those.
There's something to be said.
Anyway,
no, but Frodo is. We've seen beyond a shadow of a doubt now.
Yes.
It's basically even been said in the previous chapter. This is Frodo's story, not Bilbo's story.
Yes.
But you're still seeing like this, like the love Bilbo and Frodo have for each other, and like Frodo is this kind of hobbit because Bilbo raised him, and so he's got his sword, and he's even got his armor, which is going to be important.
Yeah. Several
points.
Yeah. Well, it is right. It is Frodo's story, but he is Bilbo's child. He's the inheritor of everything Bilbo had. Bilbo says, "I brought all of this stuff as like mementos," and then he gives all the main mementos to Frodo.
Yeah. So and
Frodo
that's
takes
sort
those.
of in contrast to the Thorin point.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It was just in a museum. But
Yeah. Which the Thorin point is totally irrelevant. It's just a weird throw-in line that didn't particularly like. Frodo getting the mithril is fascinating to me because we've already heard this idea that the hobbits, Frodo has an inner strength that allowed him to resist the Morgul blade. Now he has an inner armor that allows him to even potentially resist wraith knives, is what Bilbo says.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. He's not willing to wear it on the outside, but he wears it under his clothes so nobody can see it, but he does have the hidden strength.
It's a
on
blatant
the inside.
picture of these ideas.
Yes, and so that's very interesting to me. The Fellowship then gets ready to leave in stealth, and Boromir toots his little horn. Everybody's like, "What are you doing, man?"
Yeah, and I think it's like fitting. Like,
it is.
Where it's another puzzle piece, or not even a puzzle piece. It's like another.
It's a character moment.
It's like an abacus where you just this stat keeps going up, which is he's a valiant guy.
Yeah.
But at the expense of some other qualities.
Yeah.
Because like that's not a bad thing to do.
No.
In isolation, but all these things
and it's
he does,
good that he keeps it consistent.
Yes.
Right. He always does this on his quest. He's not going to hide himself. I appreciate that about a guy.
Yeah. But
also,
all these things he does is it's sort of tactless, and it's in contrast almost always to wiser people than he is.
Yeah. Everybody, the Fellowship's goal is to depart with nobody knowing that they've gone, and so he blows a very loud horn so that everybody knows that they've gone. And it's like, it's in Rivendell. It is the safest place to do it. It is, like, they've just scouted the whole area. I understand it's safer, so, like, the risk is minimized, but still, bruh, like, get with the program. And kind of what we'll see with Boromir is he doesn't really.
He does not really get with the program.
He doesn't vibe with everybody else.
He's sort of Pippinish, which is appropriate.
Yes, and he's told to save it until Gondor when you really need it. Which is interesting. I have no idea how that's going to come up later on, but he doesn't make it to Gondor before he really needs it.
Yeah, almost.
And so I don't know. We'll have to talk about that a little later on when that happens.
I do want to go back a page.
Sure, yeah.
There's only 2 songs in this chapter. One of them is like a sentence, which is "Winter's not a fun time." It's like, yeah, it's true, Bilbo.
Thank you.
But this is one of my. It's not my favorite song in the book, but it is one of my favorite songs.
The fire song.
Yeah. And it just sort of symbolizes that passing of the torch
Yeah.
in a lot of ways. And it's just a wise song, which is think about the past, think about the future, but don't forget the present. Because he says, think about the fire, or sit beside the fire, and I think about times that were before. I think about how my time's almost over, and how there's going to be people after me. But all this time I sit and think, I listen for voices at my door. So I'm not thinking so much that I miss out on what's actually happening.
Yeah.
And
Gotta be honest, I do not remember reading that.
Oh, rip. It's one of the best ones in the book.
Yeah, that's a cool song.
It's very beautiful, I think.
Yeah.
It is, this idea in Lord of the Rings of, like Bilbo says, I started this, I better finish this. But Gandalf says, no, this is a bigger story than you.
Yeah.
And Elrond betrays in his mind, and I think he's right, that this is really just the story of good and evil fighting each other. Because he says, let's start telling about this ring. Long time ago, elves were fighting Morgoth.
Yeah.
Which is maybe a little bit ridiculous, but it illustrates like this is the conflict that's always been.
Mm-hmm.
And since that's almost inherently a sort of Christian paralleled conflict.
Yeah.
I have a very busy spaghetti brain, I guess.
Okay.
But this idea of
Understandable.
opposing evil is neat with this little Bilbo song as well. It's like, fight now, do good right now. Like there's going to be other people right now, or there's going to be other people after you. So you can inspire them by doing good now. You can do good now by thinking about good people did before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in our battles against good and evil, like you have to have the same circumspect approach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a reason to have heroes.
Yeah.
Right. And they're inspirations to you. And so it's good to be able to look back even on stuff you used to do and say, yeah, that was pretty cool, but now it's not my turn anymore.
Different kind
and
of
there's
story.
nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
Different people get to step up at different times. So everybody's depressed except the pony. The pony's
Yes.
happy to leave.
And to your point, it's because it's winter.
Yes. Which will end up very badly for them, but we are already 52 minutes in. Oof.
Yeah.
It's okay. There's nothing to talk about in the rest of the chapter.
I think we can get away with summarizing some
Yeah.
other things, unless you have some major.
Sam has
gripes.
everything except rope.
Yes, that will come.
That will be relevant later. Okay. The Elrond sends them off, coming back to the point about like how he could have shipped it to Merry and Pippin. He says, "You guys are all volunteering on this. Frodo has to go to Mordor. None of the rest of you have to, and that's your choice as to how far you want to take this.
Sure.
The longer you go, the more difficult it's going to be to pull back. But you always have a choice on how willing you are. So I think he could have just straight up asked Merry and Pippin instead. But that's neither here nor there.
Well, he wants volunteers to go, but he wanted certain kinds of volunteers.
Yeah, that's true.
And he thought Pippin would be a bad volunteer.
Understandable, but
yeah, no, I gotcha.
Yeah, this would not be the quest that you would want noobs to take on.
What did you think about Gimli and Elrond's back and forth?
Which one? Oh yeah.
I think this is one of the more interesting parts in the chapter.
Yeah, that was cool. I think
You
Gimli's
team Elrond
right.
or team Gimli?
I'm team
You think
Gimli.
Gimli is right?
I mean, they both have valid points.
Sure.
It reminded me of the Ecclesiastes thing that is, don't overpromise, right? Pay what you vow, because if you make a promise and don't keep it, then God's going to hold you accountable for it. That seems to be what Elrond's arguing is if you promise to go on and then you don't.
What if something happens?
Yeah, right. But Gimli's arguing having the promise can inspire you to go on, especially when it gets difficult. It gives you a reason to. So
we'll
they're
see.
both right.
Yeah, they are. It's cool.
But Elrond's an elf.
Elrond is this very circumspect, I think almost more practical wisdom. And Gimli he's the most like a medieval knight out of everyone. He's an excellent character.
Okay.
He's like, of course I should swear myself to my quest and purpose. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But we'll see. I think Elrond turns out to be right here. Something's going to happen that none of them were prepared for exactly. And the fact that they're not bound to take the ring. Like these people, like their word matters.
Yeah.
Maybe that's one of the fantastic things about this book and like unrealistic. I mean, it's like these are all like very valorous
These
people.
are good people. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But if Gimli swore to go with the ring,
Mhm.
then he wouldn't have been there to save Éomer and other people. And
Spoilers.
yeah, sorry. He does a lot of valiant things.
Yeah.
That have nothing to do with defending the ring.
Yeah.
And
Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see how that plays out.
one thing.
Because I feel like Sam benefits from the Gimli attitude. Because
yeah.
he has promised to be with Frodo, and every single choice he
That
makes
is
is
an
sticking with
excellent
Frodo,
point. Yeah.
even though it is at great personal cost. And he's the reason that everything succeeds, basically. So there is value there, but there's also value in the Aragorn freedom to flex away from the mission and go do a different mission.
Exactly, that's right.
Yeah.
It is very interesting. One
Mhm.
thing, and it's probably good we're low on time, or else I would have made this tangent longer.
Oh, let's go.
Elrond, a lot of his family died in like the third and biggest elf on elf war.
Okay.
And
We have to read the Silmarillion
We
at some
do.
point.
It's-
I'm so
it's good.
curious. Yeah.
there's this the most powerful elf ever. His
Mhm.
name was Fëanor, and he had a grudge match with Sauron's master Morgoth.
Yeah. Dope.
Which was valid, but he took it too far, and he
Hmm.
swore all himself and all his sons. They swore an oath. If anyone, because Morgoth stole his most valuable treasure,
Okay.
that's what sets him on this path of vengeance.
Angie boy. Okay.
He makes himself and all his sons swear.
Yeah.
We'll get these jewels back by any means necessary. Am I
Mm.
right? And they're like, yeah. And so at first that like, helps them do good, which is to fight Morgoth.
Yeah.
But then other people end up having these jewels, and they have to kill Elrond's family.
Oh. Whoops.
And so I think that
Huh.
might be part of the reason. It's very personal for Elrond. Like, I knew some really heroic elves who were stuck to like the dumbest oath ever.
Okay.
And
That's
this is a
interesting.
better kind of oath than that, but
I mean, 40 men swore not to eat and drink until they killed Paul.
Right, yeah.
right? Yeah. That's interesting. That's
Mhm.
interesting backstory. Yeah. Cool.
it's simplified. But I think I did a good summary.
That's dope. Yeah. I need to read this. The Fellowship of the Ring is really, as much as I take issue with some of the individual choices on how something is packaged, or maybe just the way that I'm reading it,
Yeah.
it's really selling me on the Silmarillion. I really just want to
Yeah,
go read
I don't
that.
know about this book I'm reading, but
Um,
this book I'm not reading. So
It's
really
just
great.
cool. It's cool.
No, it is. I like it a lot.
Yeah. So then we get into the travel section,
Yes.
I think. They are traveling by night again,
Mhm.
which I know the writers are gone. That's good, but also the warning was don't travel by night.
But and you have to think about it
Yeah.
in context. Is for them, it's because they don't have like they're just hobbits by themselves.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
I think
that
that's
could be
probably the most important difference.
cool. Yeah, it's just it's weird to see that reversed, and there's not an explicit reason for that. So
That's true. He doesn't say exactly why. I
Yeah.
think it must be
So.
something like that, though.
that could be. It's definitely to avoid the eyes of the enemy, because
Mhm.
there's a lot about like there are scouts that the enemy is sending
There's
out.
birds you can see better in day instead of
Yes,
nighttime.
and so they're using the darkness to hide themselves. And with the Black Riders confirmed gone, I guess it is
It is
safer
in that
because they don't
respect.
have that kind of threat.
Yeah.
Still, it's just interesting. Gandalf is planning their journey,
Yeah, Gandalf and Aragorn.
and Aragorn
Yeah.
especially. They are looking to get to the great river, the Ondon.
I think Anduin is how most people say it.
Oh, maybe I'm just misreading stuff.
Yeah.
How's it spelled?
ANDU funny IN.
I can't. There's no chapter named the Ondon. Okay, maybe I'm.
Yeah, no,
maybe I'm
there's
just
not- there's
stupid.
not even a
It's
chapter
not
named-
AUN. It's ANU, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm stupid. They're going to the Great
Just
River.
means you're homeschooled like me.
Yeah. I just- oh man. So looking out to the Great River, and then he plans out their journey. He tells them where they're going to go, and he
Mhm.
says, after we get over this mountain, we're gonna hit the river, and then we'll talk about that when we get there,
Mhm.
which is interesting because he's not even gonna make it to the river.
Yeah, and that turns out to be a problem
Prophetic.
for Aragorn.
Yes.
But it's not a bad idea, which is let's
Mhm.
just focus our minds here.
Yeah.
And then, like, at the river is where, that's the split off point. Like,
Yeah.
they've committed to beyond the mountains.
Yeah.
So they're going to have another meeting after that.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. It's just interesting foreshadowing.
It is.
Because Gandalf's like,
it's very blatant foreshadowing.
when we get there, or if we get there, like, then we'll talk about it.
And he's not there.
But he's not going to be there. And he's the only one who's not there.
Yeah.
He's the only one who doesn't make it through. So that's interesting.
There's little...
Yeah.
Well,
no, you go ahead.
there's little hints throughout the chapter, and then it becomes obvious once they try to test the mountain
Yes.
of this slight leadership tension.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Gandalf's obviously in charge, but he says things like, when you have a ranger with you, you probably better trust him. Like, he recognizes Aragorn
Understandable.
is a better, like, journeyman than he is.
Yeah. And neither of them really have expertise in this area of the world. And so it's like,
They've both been here before, and none of them
A
really
long
like
time
it
ago.
very much. Yeah. And so it's there's like this, like, they're working together. They have but Frodo overhears them talking, and the disagreement is under the mountains or over the mountains.
mm-hmm.
And I guess we talked about it a little bit more, or at the beginning of the chapter. Turns out the mountain doesn't work out.
Yeah.
And you can disagree or agree with Aragorn on this. Aragorn says we should probably try not going through Moria, which we see Moria was really bad. It's like, it probably was worth trying some other way than that.
Understandable.
Neither of them have all the information.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Well, the chapter is called "The Ring Goes South,"
Yeah.
but as they start going south, they realize they can't go all the way south. Right? There's a gap down in the south. There's called the Gap of Rohan, I
Yes.
believe, and they could cross over there, but that's right next to Saruman.
mhm.
And there's hint that Fangorn Forest, which is going to be relevant in Two Towers, and Saruman in general is like looking for them
Mhm.
and sending out scouts into the area, so they can't really go out into those valleys. Holland, which is another elf land, is not really safe anymore. It's been compromised, and Aragorn senses that there's hostility in the land and things are looking for them. So in order to go south, they need to cut over the mountain range.
Yeah. And it isn't something they just realized right then.
Yeah.
Looks out for maybe Boromir.
Yeah.
Boromir's like, I made it up safe through there. And Gandalf's like, well, it was just you.
You were one guy and had no idea what you were doing. Yes. Yes, you were
Yeah.
fine.
It seems like right away they like always intend, the leaders always intend some path over the mountains.
Yeah.
And it's part of going south because Mordor is in the south.
Yeah. The southeast. Like, they got to
Yeah.
cut east somewhere, and so
Yeah.
the mountains make sense. There is a pass in the east later on down south, but you have to go through, like, the big valley to get there, and they can't
that's
really
the Saruman
do that.
problem.
So they have to do either the difficult path over the mountain, which is Caradhras, or they have to do the difficult path under the mountain, which is Moria. Aragorn advocates for Caradhras, and so they try it in this chapter, and it doesn't ultimately work out. They then do Moria in the next couple of chapters, which gets most of them through.
Yeah.
But-
Gandalf was right, they needed to go that way. Aragorn was right, it
Yeah.
would be at high cost.
Understandable. So they try to go over this big snowy mountain
Mm-hmm.
in the winter. I already voiced my issues with that. Boromir does say we should get a bunch of firewood so that we don't freeze to death.
Something we see Boromir do several points, and we just do have to summarize this quickly, I guess, is he's like, we should bring firewood. So he's smart, he's an old campaigner.
Mm-hmm.
When they get caught up on the top of the mountain, it's he's the one who immediately leaps into action.
Yeah.
Aragorn is not behind him at all.
No.
But it's the fact they have these strong men with them that they're able to retreat from the mountain at all.
Yeah, Boromir is incredibly helpful
Yeah.
here.
He embodies this Spider-Man idea, like with great power comes great responsibility. And overall, so far he's good.
Yeah.
You know, well, a lot of characters are like that, but Boromir is like more obvious. Like, I'm a strong guy. I'll use my strength to help people.
Yeah.
Like, he's the first one to think about the hobbits in this chapter with the snowstorm.
Not the most intelligent of people, but we don't all have to be. He's effective in his way. He's effective when he's given a direction. It's when he tries to take charge of his situations that it usually goes poorly.
That's
such as
probably fair.
making the choice to come up after the ring instead of letting Faramir do it.
Probably.
Such as making the choice to attack Frodo later. Spoilers for like 3 chapters from now,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we'll get there. So yeah, very, very interesting. Rip Boromir.
Pippin is especially vulnerable. Like all the hobbits are having a hard time
Mhm.
on the mountain road. Pippin is at one point he's supported by Frodo and Merry. He's younger. Like he's being supported by a 50-year-old hobbit on one side, and he's 29.
Yeah.
He's unqualified. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he is still considered like a child for them.
Not
for
quite
hobbits.
an adult. Yeah.
Yeah, he should be competent, but he's not. He'll get better.
This
I
whole
think.
mountain situation is interesting because it sort of is like a Old Forest correspondent,
Okay.
because it's like this, like the Old Man Willow is like a living tree, like Caradhras is a living peak, like some ancient spirit. There's some speculation, but I think that's basically confirmed by the end of things. Who hates?
He's at least personified that way.
He hates elves and men, or elves and dwarves especially.
Yeah.
Rip.
Understandable for the first half of that. Based and epic.
Reagan.
Yeah,
the
it's like
racist
this.
mountain spirit.
It's a hostile mountain. There's a bunch of snow on top of it because it's winter, and the snows are unusually heavy.
Yeah.
And so they're not sure if that's like Sauron's doing or if it's the mountain being mad at them. And by the end of it,
Like they
it
have a
seems like the
snowbank
mountain's
right
just
behind
mad at
him,
them.
and not beyond that.
Yes, like the mountain's trying to trap them up there and do something terrible. We could have had a mountain apocalypse. We were so close.
The mountain got the
A
ring.
mountain with a ring.
I don't think he really wanted it.
But it would be really funny.
That would be very funny.
And so basically they get stuck up there. Boromir and Aragorn plow a path through.
So cool.
They try and light a fire on the top of the mountain. Boromir's sticks don't really do anything for them. They can't get a fire going.
Yeah.
So
Until Gandalf has to reveal himself.
Yes, and that's probably going to age poorly, but
I think
we'll see.
I think the implication is probably yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, it's that Gandalf has revealed that he is there, and he basically says now everything.
And he
in
did
the
it on top
area-
of a mountain.
Yeah, like everything knows that I'm here now, and well, ultimately, a few things are going to wake up.
Yeah.
and
So
get Gandalf.
again, it's hard to say like who's right or who's not. Like if they had been able to get over the mountain, it would have been so worth it, even with that price.
Yeah.
But the fact that Gandalf reveals himself because of this road, and then they have to
And
go
then they
back
back
down,
off.
that was a steep price.
Yeah. So they go down the mountain. Legolas can walk on snow.
Yep.
That's a thing.
He's a funny guy.
That just
I
happens.
know you aren't very impressed with this interaction,
Not particularly.
but he can't. Gimli and he and the hobbits and even Gandalf aren't equipped to dig through snow.
Yes.
But Legolas did. He said both of those guys were almost ready to give up. They were so tired digging through snow. But because I ran on ahead, I did what I could do. I did my part. I said, "You're almost there, guys," and then they finished up.
Yeah. Legolas is the scout.
Yep.
And that's perfectly fine. And I'm glad that he did. It's just like he walked on the snow.
Yeah,
And then it just moves on.
And
It's
he
kinda
makes
weird.
funny jokes too.
Does he?
It's a joke.
I mean,
Gandalf's
he says,
like
I'm going to go get the
Gandalf
sun.
is fed up.
And he says, I didn't get the sun. Got him.
Yeah, he thinks that's funny.
He does think that's funny. Seems like an elf humor kind of thing.
It does. I can't imagine anyone else making that joke.
Otherworldly in the sense of, that no human
It's
thought that was
kind of
entertaining.
It's kind of funny.
Yes, and so there's this big obstacle on the mountain, and they back down. They cannot cross it.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. The chapter, I think I said this earlier on.
We talked about it mostly at the beginning.
The chapter ends with the line, like, they just backed down. They stumbled wearily down the slope, and Caradhras had defeated them. And now they're found by the birds, and now their position is given away. And now Gandalf has revealed himself, and for what? Like, despite all of the scouting that they did, they ran into enough trouble to make them lose. And I know the next chapter they reroute and they do still get through the mountains.
Yeah.
Like ultimately they do.
Yeah.
But this chapter is framed as here is like this party who's getting ready to go on a quest. And then the first thing that you do is almost party wipe on top of a mountain. And it's like,
No, I
I don't
gotcha.
know.
My point isn't, this isn't really a defeat.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's obviously not the end of the story.
Yeah.
Right? So this was a loss.
Yeah.
But the buildup is, okay, it's worth trying, but sometimes you do things that are worth trying and you can't get over and you have to pivot.
Yeah.
I find that, like I said, a lot more thought-provoking than not.
That is an inspiring message. I don't know that I would have put it as the first thing that the party does.
Well, it's a recurring pattern.
Yeah.
Like, it isn't like this is a one and done thing. They're
Yeah.
going to keep finding situations where, okay, this didn't work. What do we do now? Both sides, ring bearers and not, are going to be in that kind of situation.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And if you had a story without any of that, then that would be boring if
Sure.
the good guys always won all the
I
time.
can see where you're coming from, but I just don't I just don't agree with that. Yeah.
Well, it's just like the hobbits haven't really had any victories yet. They've had to get saved by everybody, which fair enough. But now they're finally with competent people and a lot of competent people. And then they still don't get a win.
Sure.
Like let them right, if we spent another 3 chapters earlier on in the story where the wolves came up against them and they fought off the wolves. Cool. And then they have a victory and then they go and try to cross the mountain and it doesn't really work. Okay. At least you have a victory then going into the setback because you're like, these people can do something, but this challenge was too great for them. Instead, it feels like the first thing you try just doesn't work. Okay, well, is this group of people really that skilled? Like, are they really that competent? I'm sure they are.
I guess to that point is they are able to make a lot of good ground. They are able to dodge the first spout of scouts.
Yes.
Those are victories. Yeah.
I guess it just doesn't really stand out.
It's not as dramatic.
Yeah.
Like, sure.
So.
But like I said at the beginning, and I think this will be the last thing I say, is
I have free reign.
well, if you test me, it will be not the last thing. But this stands best in contrast to like the Hobbits earlier.
Okay.
Which is they needed help every time. Here, these people have learned enough; they can pivot from defeats. And I know you agree with this like as a applied principle, but that's really really true. Is maturity isn't I can do everything myself.
Yeah,
it's like I'm gonna try things out and do the wise thing. And even like with the Hobbit's rescues. Well, I'll just stop it there. Yeah.
And that would be that is a good contrast, or that would be a good contrast, but that's just not. Like reading through it, that didn't come to my mind at all. My mind is thinking about the hobbits on a journey can't do anything generally, and these people on a journey also can't do anything generally.
Yeah,
right.
I just don't think that's
so.
That's not the most helpful approach. I don't think.
No, but that's the only thing that came to my mind when I read it.
I got you.
And so if you step in here and then explain what it's supposed to be doing. Okay, I can see that, but that did not come across, at least when I read it, whatever mood I was in yesterday, which I already wasn't vibing with Elrond's or really any of the approach of the Fellowship. And so for me to have problems with them coming into this as well is not surprising based on just
on your
all of the little details.
Track record.
Yeah. I was not, I don't know. It's a way to tell a story.
I like that chapter a lot.
It's interesting. I don't.
Yeah.
If you couldn't tell, don't think that's great. It's okay. The next chapter isn't great either.
That's crazy.
I think it's better, but I don't know that it's all that great.
These chapters are siblings. They are.
They're very, yeah. Yeah, at least they go through Moria. It'll be exciting, but we'll have to wait until next time to talk about that.
Yeah.
So, anything else to say
No, that better be it.
Fair enough. Well, we'll pause there, and next chapter, we'll also disagree about a few things for A Journey in the Dark, where they actually go through the mines. Thank you. I'm sure that everyone is terrified now. Very fitting for the Halloween season.
That's right. Journey.